to order. Let's stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Same for me here.
Okay, welcome everyone. We are going to start with the approval of the May 9th, 2023 minutes. If I could have a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the May 9th, 2023 minutes.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Also, the May 24th, 2023 minutes. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the May 24th, 2023 minutes.
Second.
A second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes as well. We're going to do the receipt of the April 2023 Treasurer's Report. If I could have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we receive the April 2023 Treasurer's Report.
All in favor say aye. Oh,
Aye.
second. We need a second. I apologize.
I'll second.
Any questions from anybody? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. And we need to do the May 2023 check register as well, if I could have a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the May 2023 check register.
Second.
I'll second it.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that passes as well. All right. I'm going to go on to the mayor's report. I have a few things to discuss and a couple things I want to say. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported me during the recent election. Super excited to get to work with everybody. It's been great so far. We received a letter from someone in the community that said they wanted to thank us. Their family had a reunion at the pavilion, and they were so happy that everything went well, and all the guys that work for the town, they were great, and they just wanted to really thank us. And it's actually the son of the former mayor, Mr. Lippy. So they were really, really happy. So I wanted to let everybody know, and everybody did a great job. So they were really happy with that. Also, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has welcomed me, and to the new council people as well. Everybody's been great. And, you learn. I worked for a big company for lots of years, and you learn you're only as good as the people that work for you and with you. And they can make you look wonderful, or they can make you look not so great. So far, I'm looking wonderful. I have everybody that works for us, from the inside staff, I call them, as the office, to the police department, to public works, the water, the sewer, parks, maintenance. Everybody has been great, and everybody does a great job. So it does not go unnoticed. And then, real quick, a couple quick things. We have voluntary water restrictions that went into effect June 1st due to lack of precipitation and high water demand. The town has entered into stage 2. I would not be surprised if we don't see stage 3, but that's where we are. And this basically means, because of the declining rainfall and the dry conditions, limit washing of sidewalks, driveways, patio decks, and porches. Limit use of water for washing, cleaning of automobiles, trucks, trailers, whatever you have. And limit use of air conditioners that use water for cooling. Obviously, no filling pools, things like that as well. But also, yard waste pickup on Wednesdays through December 13th. Yard waste consists of grass clippings, leaves, and small branches not in excess of 3 feet in length or 4 inches in diameter. Branches must be bundled in armful loads. Yard waste should not be mixed with mulch, dirt, or any residential refuse, including pets waste. Residents should place your yard waste curbside Tuesday evening for early Wednesday morning pickup. They must be placed in large craft paper bags or in a container that's marked yard waste. This helps them to know what to pick up. Also, no plastic bags, please. Please help prevent windblown litter, recycling bins, and garbage cans that tip over and spill, make a mess in everybody's community. So please, either if it's windy, think about putting them out in the morning versus putting them out before bed, and we get 40-mile-an-hour winds and everybody's chasing your milk cartons down the road. So that's great. Water bills will be mailed out on July 1st and due before July 30th. And the town hall will be closed on June 19th. So I think that's about it. Unless anybody has any questions for that, let me know. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to the town administrator report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. Just a reminder, tomorrow evening, Antietam Broadband will be providing an informational session on their product and the upcoming installation of fiber in the town. It will be tomorrow night at the Manchester Volunteer Fire Department Activities Building, starting at 7 p.m. All are encouraged to come and ask questions. We are looking at sometime just after the 4th of July weekend holiday for them to possibly start installation, which would be overhead and underground through certain parts of the town.
And this is, just to verify, this is nothing that we are going to be dealing with. We're just going to listen and get their information.
We are
correct?
providing
It's already
the
been approved.
Yeah,
so-
we are providing the forum for them to answer questions from the residents about the project
Okay,
and what they have to offer. The town has nothing to do with it.
okay, thank you.
The annual Consumer Confidence Water Quality Report will be out in July as required. The link to read the report will be on the July 1st water bill. As you said, Madam Mayor, we have not received the annual precipitation that we expect, and we have seen usage per day above 330,000 gallons. We just ask all to piggyback on what you said. We ask that all residents be thoughtful in their water use. As you said, we don't want to go into mandatory restrictions. Good news, on June 7th, the State Board of Public Works approved the request for $1.15 million to help fund the engineering and design portion of the wastewater treatment plant E&R upgrade. The cost of the project is a total of $1.778 million. The state approved, as I said, exactly $1,151,492, and the town will be responsible for $626,546 as our part, and that'll be coming out of our ARPA money that we received. And then tonight, item number 9 will be a presentation by the folks from CDM Smith, the design engineering firm. And then after that presentation, I request that the council move to approve the contract to start the design. From the zoning perspective, you have your code violation status report in front of you. Drill Tech, the company that owns the land next to the old Rohrballs place, that was given final approval. Equine Meadows, which is the old Burwager property, is still awaiting stormwater management approval from the county. The Carroll property on Hilltop Drive has sold 2 of the 4 lots. Solar One project back here off of Grafton Street has moved into the final approval phase, and the comp plan is due for a 5-year administrative update. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to Public Works report. Rodney?
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. Please see the Water and Wastewater Data Report for May 2023. Also in Public Works, our DPW staff attended a 10-hour class, and this was an OSHA outreach training seminar. And right here at the Town Hall, many topics were covered, and this was hosted by Bob Crest, who is a certified OSHA trainer. On to water and wastewater. The Manchester Water Line Replacement Project is steaming ahead very well. It's a work in progress, and they're completed the Grafton Street, Oak Street area, and they moved on to High Street, Wirtz Avenue, New Street area, and on schedule to be completed in September 2023. The York Water Tower Rehab Project, nothing new to report on this. The Baptist Water Tower standpipe replacement, again, nothing new to report on this. The Park Avenue Tank Rehab, it's been 2 years already, believe it or not. We had a 2-year warranty inspection, which was inside and out, and came back excellent. So it was an excellent inspection.
Okay.
And this was by Mumford, I can't pronounce that, Associates MBA. Historical Center Sidewalk Rehab Project, 100% complete. The Christmas Tree Park Bathroom Rehab Project, our staff installed new shingle roof. This was completed in mid-2023. I do need to add, this was way under budget because our staff did the whole project.
That's wonderful.
Lastly, the town street rehab project for FY '24. I am preparing the bid preparation right now, and I plan to advertise in mid-June. And that's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I came by the historical building, I noticed today, it looked really nice.
Thank you.
Just so, like, new, and it just looked really nice. Okay. So now we're gonna move on, Adam and John from, CDM Smith, he's gonna talk to us about the design for the WWTP. So if you wanna come up to the podium, that would be great.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
we do the police report.
Thank you for having us. My name is John Hamill. I'm the Regional Client Service Leader for CDM Smith. I'm here to give a presentation and summary of the ENR upgrade for the wastewater plant. And Adam is our project engineer and project manager, most familiar with the project.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was, I didn't want to interrupt you, but, yeah.
Sorry, I'll be real quick. I'm
Okay.
John Hamill with CDM Smith, and we're here to summarize the wastewater treatment plant ENR upgrade. Adam is our project manager and project engineer for the project, so he's going to give our presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for having us here. Happy that we've kind of seen this to this point, and yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started here. Again, I'm Adam Smith, CDM Smith. I'll be the project manager for this job. A little bit of background here for those of you who might not be as familiar. The existing plant down off of Beaver Street has a current design flow of half of MGD. Original construction there in late 60s, upgraded late 80s. Has two different outfalls to George's Run there on the property itself, as well as the spray field site that is outside of town. So what we've done already so far is worked with the state and with Rodney closely to develop a preliminary engineering report that went down through several different pieces. That was funded by Bay Restoration Funds and consisted of a consistent condition assessment, expansion alternatives, an evaluation of those alternatives, and eventually got to the end report that was accepted by the state and has led us to this point here now. The two things that we were primarily looking at, are between the baseline and the ENR upgrade alternatives, which is enhanced nutrient removal. What that basically means is that you're discharging less nitrogen and less phosphorus through this process. So some things that came up of note within the PER itself were found during the condition assessment part of the preliminary engineering report, and basically that several of the items have reached the end of their useful life and were recommended to be replaced. And these are items that are in addition to the ENR upgrade as a whole. It would be pieces of the project that wouldn't be funded directly through the state Bay Restoration Funds, but they're happy to contribute as part of the engineering analysis of this. So looking at the existing plant process flow diagram as it is right now, the baseline alternative that we were looking at is what do you have to do to kind of fix the few items that have reached their end of their useful life, and that end up being some of the major pieces here. Besides replacing the actual blowers, which if you guys aren't familiar, are the highest energy consumption items of a wastewater plant for the aeration process to help digest all the, we'll say, undesirables that are in there. Those have reached that point. We're talking about rehabilitating the existing tankage and replacing some other critical pieces, of the plant. As part of that evaluation, we were also looking at the expansion pieces of the plant and seeing if that is something that would be to recommend as part of this whole process. We eventually came to the conclusion that with the comprehensive plan that you guys have in place, that already is below the half MGD of the existing plant capacity, and so no expansion of the plant would be recommended at this time. So that's something that we did look at during design. It incorporated, the design features of the comprehensive plan, but it's not something that's recommended at this time. And another side note is that any expansion that would have been recommended doesn't go to, the state doesn't do any additional funding for that expansion. That would be all burdened upon the town. So that leads us to where we recommended and what was selected as an alternative, and that's this 4-stage Barden-Faux system with a cloth media filter for tertiary treatment. So there's a bit of a graphic here about what that is. In more technical terms, it basically cleans it up nicer. It discharges less to the environment. Of the alternatives that were out there, this one's probably the most straightforward, as terms of the guys at the plant actually operating it. I think this is a good option to move forward with. And in general, this is what we were looking at in the process, in the preliminary engineering report, as to preliminarily how it would fit there, just to make sure that, okay, do we have enough space for everything that we're proposing to do? We think that there is. This is just a layout. It can change, Rodney, if you don't like it. It's open for input. We can modify that. But there's lots of different pieces of this plant that we'll be touching. And the biggest takeaway that I see from this figure is that the guts of the plant are getting upgraded to be brand new. The existing tanks that are being used right now, we are repurposing the newer of the two to be an aerobic digester to handle sludge on the back end of things. But the old, outdated process is getting replaced, modernized, and it's going to be, we think something that'll be easier for the guys to operate, more automated, and just new, which I think would be, well received over there. So this kind of leads to the complexity of the newer process. If you recall, the previous process flow diagram was a little more simplistic in the guts of the plant area here. This has a little bit more going on, but it's just a lot of cycling it in certain ways in order to scrub the nitrogen and remove the phosphorus. Okay, getting to the dollars and cents of all this, MDE was using bay restoration funds, which the town of Manchester's residents have been contributing to ever since it was started. You guys just get an opportunity now to tap into these funds. So they approved the bay restoration funds for, in total, the way that they view this and how it works is it would essentially be an extension of the preliminary engineering report that was kind of competitively bid, and we were selected for that process. It's essentially a $1.15 million increase to the existing $105,000 to cover the final design and bidding services. And that's where our design proposal comes in. Looking at it, piecing all the parts together, there's a lot of work to be done. So we do have $1.778 million on there with 11,821. I don't know where the one came from, but it filtered down to that level of CDM Smith staff hours there. It's counting that over here this morning, 15 different discipline groups, between like architectural, structural, electric, process, civil, you name it, fire protection. There's a lot of different parts that go into a building of this complexity, tanks of this complexity, and also the pieces and parts there. So in total, for all the people that we were budgeting in there, it's 50-plus individuals at CDM Smith that'll be able to touch this project. We're also going to be partnering with Hillis Carnes to do geotechnical exploration out there, just see where the rock is, how it's doing, how hard it is, and what it can do to support these big, heavy tanks full of water. And then CLSI, we'd be working with to do survey and land development. Part of land development is the stormwater stuff, which I know they're involved with the town through county projects that adjacent and all pieces and parts there. So we're going to be working with them closely to try and get this all coordinated. Where that sits with everything for design and bidding engineering costs means that MDE through the Bay Restoration Fund grant funds would cover 2/3 of the costs. Manchester would then be asked to do the other 1/3 of the cost. So that MDE total contribution for overall design and bidding is the $1.257 million, and the Manchester contribution would be the $626,546. In summary, wastewater wasn't recommended for expansion, and components of the existing plant have reached the end of their useful service life and require rehabilitation or replacement. Of the ENR upgrade alternatives, that we went through with the preliminary engineering report, the 4-stage bar info was the one that was selected and approved by the state, and so the state MDE has been working with us throughout this whole process, because they're footing a lot of the bill, so they get a say in how it all pieces together. And the state at this point is, has committed to increasing their funds to be able to fund the final design and bidding engineering piece of this work. What we're requesting then is that the town council approves our design proposal for this. We feel that during the plan, we were setting out about a 13-month design effort for this work, and I've already been doing some pre-coordinating to try and get that going here if you guys are so moved to do so. And with that, I'll field any questions you guys have.
So, just a quick question on how long do you think the total project is going to be?
Are you talking construction of the plant
Start till we're finished, from now until we're finished?
until the new plant is, you flip the lights on?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to hold you to it, just a
Yeah, I know.
guesstimate.
I know we looked at this before. I want to say it was about, well, for us, it's 13 months. There will probably be a lag with how the state funds with things. If it goes the same way, that has to go through the Maryland Board of Public Works and pieces that together. So that's probably a couple months there. And then I think we had 18 months for construction,
Okay.
thereabouts. So you're talking, we'll say, 18 is 36, so 3 years from now, maybe.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
What the update was. I knew you said 13 months for that part, but I was curious for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of pieces to build here. The good part with what we're recommending to do and how we're putting these things together is they can hopefully this contractor can build the new parts of the plant while the existing plant is online. And because it's kind of next to everything there.
That was my next question. How is it going to affect the town and the people that obviously are using this?
Yeah,
We certainly do not want to shut down, so that's why I was asking, is it going to be, we're hoping seamless, that it goes, we flip one off and we flip the next one
I
on.
can't
and it's
promise seamless because that means different things to other
We're
people.
hoping.
But hoping that it goes smoothly.
Okay,
Because a majority of the plant is already going to be built next to the existing plants.
okay,
You may get into some issues because you're looking to rehab that, or just repurpose that one tank to be sludge, that you get into something there where, you're using the other tank just as a temporary holding thing, but it's,
okay.
pieces and parts can be switched around to make it work. Yeah, and I know I've worked with you guys in the past, and appreciate your guidance. I haven't worked with you, but
Hi, how are you?
yeah.
I'm Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. I'm Adam. Nice to meet you too. But appreciate you guys' guidance through this as we've gone through, and yeah, I know it's been a process to get to here for sure. COVID was right in the middle of it. I think we started this thing as the pandemic was ramping up, but yeah, it's been a process to get to here for sure.
We'll get there, we'll get there. Does anybody
Yeah.
have any questions?
So Madam Mayor and Council, we ask that you approve contract with CDM Smith for $1.778038 million to start the design engineering project on the wastewater treatment plant ENR upgrade.
So I ask for a motion.
Alex, just a question. We already earmarked that 600,000, did we not, in the budget this year for ARPA money?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion
Oh,
that
just
we,
Yeah.
that we approve the contract to CDM Smith for $1,778,038.
And I'll second the motion.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Whenever you want the technical tutorial, we can sit down and
I
tell
have
you how
your
it all
number.
works.
Don't you worry. I
Oh,
have
you
it.
got my number, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool, thank you.
Chief, we're going to go back to you.
Hey, Adam, thanks for going first. You got that bad news out of the way. Now it's going to be all good news.
Okay, you
That was
go
smooth.
for it.
That was smooth.
So for the month of May, the Manchester Police Department handled 164 calls for service. We only had one reported crime, and that was it was actually two. We had one larceny from auto of an unlocked vehicle, and we had one destruction of property that involved a juvenile who was criminally charged. For 2023, this is excellent news, we've only had 5 Part 1 crimes and 11 total reported crimes. The assaults, which are the higher number, were 7 assaults, and 6 of them were domestic. There's not much you can do about a domestic assault. So that's good news for our town. The other 5, they were thefts, all but one's cleared. We just cleared a $32,000 theft that involved Napa. That was actually an employee scheme there, but that is cleared with an arrest. And we just have this one larceny from auto that's sitting out there right now. The overdose report countywide is 157. We have a total of 15 fatalities, which is holding steady. The overdose numbers are going to go up and down, but all in all, Carroll County, when you compare it to a lot of places in Maryland, we're on that lower scale, which is good news. Manchester has 5, Hampstead has 15. Hampstead's overdoses, there's a couple recidivists there, so it's the same people overdosing. Same with Westminster, that has 46. Sykesville has 2, Tawnytown has 7, New Windsor has 4. We are still having a major traffic enforcement issue in town. And I can't say this, the citizens that live in our town gotta help us help them. We're getting the people that are calling in and they're complaining, but a lot of times when the guys are out there, and truly the guys are bouncing from one complaint to the other, we're getting the residents. Most of them, it's the residents that we're stopping. So we really need some help from the residents to help us. That's the only way we're going to get a handle on it. I got to give another friendly news flash. Marijuana, the law is going to change July 1. There's a lot of younger folks out there that think that it's okay to drive while smoking marijuana. It's not. It's not going to be okay to smoke it in public. We're not going to tolerate it in our parks. We're not going to tolerate it in the public streets in our neighborhood or along Main Street. I mean, if you want to play the game, it's your choice. It's going to be your money because we're going to take the stash and you're going to get charged. It starts at a $250 fine, and it goes up from there. We just can't have open-ended smoking of marijuana in the public spots. The parks, there's kids there, you know, out in the neighborhood, there's kids, and nobody should be subjected to your choice of what you're gonna smoke. So we're gonna kind of stand strong on that. With the traffic, we issued 205 citations and warnings. Again, it's the stop signs and it's the speeding. So if we get a hold of that, the town would be doing excellent because our crime, knock on wood, is down. We're without doubt one of the lowest crime rates in Carroll County, which is good news. Class of 2023, since we don't have a student rep, I'll pick it up from there. Manchester Valley, class of 2023, graduated last weekend. They're going to be opening their newest chapter in life, and a lot of military. I think 3 or maybe 5% of the class was military, and I see some promise in that generation. You know, it's good kids. Our sport teams represented us very well this year. The girls varsity team went an entire season undefeated. They subsequently became the state champs. We have one girl on the team. Chris, what is her name again? She's nationally recognized. Emma Penchek. I mean, this girl's incredible. And she was a sophomore, so we got her for 2 more years. The varsity golf team. I'm a golfer, so I like this. For the first time in the history of the school, they made the state finals. They placed 4th, but they made the state finals. Track and field, they're 4-time state champions. So we got some runners that are doing pretty good. Congratulations to all there. The Manchester Wrestlers, they're also state champs. So this school really did good. Good group of kids, and I hope it continues up there. Minimal problems. That's about it on my side.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to questions and comments from the community. I believe we have 2 people that signed in, and I apologize, but one, maybe the first name is Shelley. I apologize that I can't. Anderson, I think. Okay, if you'd like to come up to the microphone. Yeah, it's recorded, so we have to. Just state your name and.
Okay, I have lived here in Manchester for 39 years, and I have fought this for quite a few years. I am tired of these feral cats that are in Whispering Valley. They have 8 of them laying in their driveway, and if they have babies, let's multiply this. I have spent over $4,000 for rocks around my house to keep them out of my garden. I like to go out and garden, but I do not like sticking my fingers in their mess. So now they've graduated to going in the yard. I have a dog. They carry diseases that human and animal can get sick from and die from. And the town has done nothing, and the Humane Society has done nothing. I have to drive up there, pay a $72 deposit for a cage that I have to set, bring it back, and catch the cat, and then take it back up there. Does anybody reimburse me for my gas money? No. It's not my job.
Okay, so Michelle and I talked about this because she handles some of that. There have been some things done, and we have been in contact with them.
I still see
We're
eight
getting ready to tell
cats.
you. Okay, well, we're getting ready to tell you what happened. Michelle just spoke to him, actually.
Yeah, the gentleman that you're talking about has been in several times to tell us that, well, he called the Humane Society, they won't take them. They don't want them. They've got too many. He's called around, there's no groups that come and take care of them. But he has, and I don't know how, I didn't even ask, he has managed to get rid of a few. But he said that he goes out the next day and more are back. So he is fighting.
Nobody's dropping them off. They're not fixed. They just keep continuing having babies. And you got mommies with their sons, daddies with their daughters, and you're going to have mental problems with these animals.
Well, he claims that they're not his cats. They're just feral cats. So,
But he's the problem, he's feeding them.
well, I understand that, but he said he's trying to get rid of them. And that's the most that I can do from the town perspective is send him a letter telling him that you're not supposed to have these cats running at large or any
Well,
animal.
I guarantee you, if there were 5 dogs running loose in that neighborhood, I bet you the police would be up there in seconds with guns drawn, ready to shoot. Why is it the laws are harder on the dogs than they are cats? My dog's behind his fence. When I walk, I clean up after him. But when you're putting up with these cats year after year, destroying, and when they urinate, they burn my flowers. They burn the grass.
Well, I mean, we as a town have notified him, you know, obviously as much as we can do. We've sent him letters, we've advised him to do certain things, and he says he's doing it. I'm not saying that, I don't sit out front of his house and watch what he does, obviously, you can
Nor
see.
do I, but I walk by.
No, sure.
2 doors down.
Right, no, I understand, that's what I'm saying. You know, you're a lot closer than I am, you can see. But he has been calling, I believe, like weekly and giving reports of what
Coming
he's,
in.
I'm
He's
sorry?
been coming in and talking to
Yes.
us.
So we have been in contact with him, and we are doing, well, I understand it's frustrating. Believe me, I would be frustrated too. I'm not taking that away from you. We are doing the best we can to try to have him.
Well, then answer me this, what is animal control's job?
Animal control is Carroll County, you mean, animal control? Right, well, we don't control that. I mean, you've called them, I assume? I'm asking.
I've been around
Okay.
the loop, and everything falls on deaf ears.
Okay, because obviously, we have no control over animal control, that's Carroll County. I mean, we can do our part and send letters and say, please, 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 you know, you're driving the neighbors crazy. Try to get the cats. I understand that. I wouldn't,
Well, you do their job, you catch the cat, and then you're told, oh, don't bring it up, because we're not accepting them.
right. So right, same thing. I understand. So, you know, I guess the only thing you can we'll keep doing what we're doing, trying to keep in touch with him and doing the best we can. I know Michelle's been doing a lot, trying to work with him to get this taken care of, because we don't want anybody upset. I mean, that's the last thing I want is somebody upset.
Well, the next step will be, I'll be moving out of Manchester.
I certainly don't want that. I don't want you to move because of feral cats. I mean, I think they could show up anywhere.
I've been dealing with it a lot longer than you, and I'm about up to here with it.
We had it years ago when I was on the council too. I remember in a different area. I recall that, and I remember dealing with the same thing. And eventually, they did get it taken care of, and it was under control. But it does take a little time. I mean, if he's trying and he is catching them.
I've been here for 39 years, and nothing's changed.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't, you know, the animal control, if they're not going to come, what do they say?
You have to come up there and pick up a trap.
Okay.
You gotta set the trap yourself, then you gotta take the cat up there.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
was just
putting a
curious.
feral
I didn't know.
cat in my car.
I was curious. I didn't know if they came out. I don't know what
No,
the
they
rules
don't.
are on cats. Okay. Yeah, so we are, I know we are, and I know Michelle has been working on it, and we are, I know you feel like we're not, but we are. We have seen him probably once a week up here reporting what he's caught, what he's doing, and he's trying. I mean, it's to the point now it's already done. Now we have to go backwards and try to take care of the situation.
Well, I will forewarn you. I've got myself, how am I gonna word this? They're little things that you fill with water. They're pellets, not pellets, they're little balls of water. And I have a gun.
Well,
it's a play gun. And when they hear the noise and the little orange ball comes out, they take off. It keeps them out of my yard.
I understand.
And it
I am
makes them
not,
go back to their yard.
that's not my job to say what, you know, if that can be done or not done. I mean,
Police chief.
uh,
Am I gonna get locked up?
I think it's illegal.
Man, when you talk to animal control, did you inform them that it's against law for them to shelter or feed, and that is their jurisdiction?
I've been through everything with them, and they said they can't do anything about it. This is what I was supposed to do. Get the trap, pay a $72 deposit, go home, set the trap, catch the cat, and then I'm told, oh, we're not accepting them. Like I said, I've been here, there, and everywhere to get this straightened out, and nothing's done.
well, we will continue to do
So
as
now
much.
I'm looking at 8 more cats in the driveway.
I mean, I'm gonna talk straight with you, it's kind of a catch-22, there's nowhere for us to trap them and put them. And that's not something we're supposed to be doing. You know, the animal shelter, they do have laws, there are Maryland laws, and they are supposed to enforce those laws when it deals with the animal. I'm kind of confused that they're actually giving you the trap. Did you ask them where you're supposed to put the cat? Once you trap it?
Take it back up there.
They want you
But then
to
they're
put it
saying
in your
you're
car and
not accepting the cats.
We'll follow that up for you. But give me some time on that.
If I may, I share in your frustration. We've had a similar problem. I also live in Whispering Valley, and we trapped a cat. We have a trap. We trapped a cat. My wife took it to animal control. They said they would fix it, mark it, and release it back in our neighborhood. And my wife, you know, was losing her mind over this because we had them tearing up some outdoor furniture, walking on the car, so on and so forth. Anyway, I share in your frustration, but the chief and everybody, their hands are really tied with this, and it all comes down to animal control and what they will, and specifically what they will not do. But when we found out the cat's going to be re-released where we got it, like, we stopped trapping them. But we haven't had anything like what you've experienced.
That's a little bit ridiculous, because they're still gonna go to the bathroom.
I agree. That's why I'm telling you. I'm telling you that we share your frustration.
With your lawnmower sometime and see the aroma that comes in. It's not pleasant.
Anyway, I just wanted to pass that on, that we here on the council share your frustration, and we're doing what we can do, which is limited.
Let me look into a couple options for you. I'm not
So
going to
that-
make any promises.
Let me ask you this. The lady and man that lived across the street from me, they've moved since. She had 2 dogs. She worked at a vet's, and the people did not come back and pick the animal up. They just left him there. So she brought it home. She was told that if she has 2 or more dogs, that she needed to have a kennel license.
I think it's 3 or more dogs, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's 3, and you
Well,
have to have a
2
kennel.
that were
Oh.
hers, and then the one she
Well,
the
was.
one
then
she
that's
had.
it.
That's 3.
That's, you have 3 or
So
more
why,
animals,
like I
you have
said,
to have a
why are
kennel
things
license.
different for dogs and cats?
That's a good question. I mean, I have dogs too. I have 2, but
I also have grandchildren. I don't want them out in the yard
Right.
playing and stepping in this. I don't want them getting bit by these cats.
no, I totally understand. Well, let Chief see what he can find out. He said he's going to do a little research, and I'm going to get a little bit of information. I have your information here actually, so he'll see what he can find out. Like he said, no promises, but let's see if he can do a little research, and we'll go from there. I mean, I appreciate you coming and telling us, and we're trying, but
I'm trying to be patient, and my patience is worn thin.
I understand. I understand. So we will, again, he'll do some research, and if he finds some information, he certainly knows how to get in touch with you or where you live, because I have it, and see what we can find out for you. We're not turning deaf ears. There's only so much we can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's someone else that signed up about the cats as well. Do you want to speak? If you do, you have to come up to the microphone. You're more than welcome to. We just need you to come up.
I don't want to speak, but
Okay,
I'm in the same neighborhood, like the same cats.
okay, all right. Well, thank you. We will continue to do what we're doing, or see if there's any other options, okay? So do we have committee reports? We will start with Chris, Planning and
Did
Zoning.
you want to go back to the police? To Chief S?
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Did you didn't give the police report, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he did.
Yeah, he did that already.
Apparently, I was asleep.
Sorry,
I forgot the events. July 1st is Carnival Week, right?
yes,
And then August 1st is National Night Out.
thank you.
I don't know if there's any other events coming up.
All right,
Can I say one thing, Chief S?
yes.
Okay. The reports recently, like coming out where it lists everything comprehensively, I really like those. So, and everything listed, that helps everybody know what's going on. And I think everyone should share and communicate that as much as possible. Thank you for the transparency. Yeah.
Anybody else before I go on to committee reports? Okay. Planning and Zoning, Chris?
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Community involvement,
Sure.
Jen?
First, I apologize for my tardiness. I am taking a class, and it ended at 7:30, and I am not going to make it here from Westminster at 7:30, so I got here as quickly as I could within the law. So just 2 things to report. Chief did touch on Carnival Week starts July 3rd. Just encourage the residents. There will be an increase in traffic, an increase in meeting people out in the community. Please use caution, especially when traveling on York Street, because a lot of people are cut across that. They park off Wilhelm Lane and they're crossing. There's lots of people everywhere, so just take it easy and kind of watch where you are. I know that we have things in place that we're working on, a temporary, like signage and things for crosswalks, temporary crosswalks to help with some of that. Also, he did touch on National Night Out, which is the first Tuesday of August, the 1st. We'll be at the Carnival Grounds. If you have not come out, it is an amazing event. We're hopeful to have lots and lots of people. It's a free event. You're encouraged to bring your families, come enjoy the activities and the things that are there. One thing that we are in need of, if you are artistic, if you're any kind of artistic painting, drawing, we are in need of face painters. That seems to be our busiest, and no matter how many we get, we always have a humongous line. So if you are a student looking for service hours and you like to draw or paint, you know, we have supplies we bring and we have people we line up, but we will take any and all help that we can get. So if you want to come out and earn some service hours, or if you are just looking for something to do that night, please make sure you come out and enjoy the time.
Thank you. Councilman Pacelli?
The North Carroll Business Alliance, their next meeting is this Thursday at Green Mountain Station. Outside of that, I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Howe?
I attended the meeting last night, and everything is going good with the parks, and the only scheduled activity is the first Friday fires, which would be July the 7th at 7 p.m. at the park.
The Nature Center.
The Nature Center. I'm sorry, I got a headache here. So, and as far as I know, the fire will be contained, so it doesn't go against the burning ban right now. So that's all I have.
Councilman Nazarod, I will not put you on the spot. We're just assigning you some duties. So if you have something to say, you're more than welcome, but I think you're going to work on some community relations maybe and intergovernmental relations, things like that. We'll talk, but
Okay, that sounds good.
okay.
Want to help? I like hearing all the reports. It's the first time hearing it, so thank you. Yeah.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to adjourn. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.